Почитувани дами и господа, ми представува особена чест и задоволство да ве поздравам и да ви посакам добре дојде во име на програмата за наводнување на Север.
It is our distinct pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Program for Irrigation as part of the Ministry of Agriculture at this solemn event for signing an agreement for consultant services for the irrigation system program. Today's event is a result of several years of efforts of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Economy, led by the Minister Ljupča Nikolski, with an enormous support of the government of the Republic of North Macedonia, led by the President Dimitar Kovacevski, and with the support of the Embassy of Germany to North Macedonia, and of course our colleagues from the KWF Bank. On this occasion, I would like to express my appreciation to the international consultants who worked on the feasibility study for the 4 irrigation systems that are part of this program, as well as the studies for the impact over the environment. Now, I would like to invite the President of the Government of the Republic of North Macedonia, Mr. Dimitar Kovacevski, to address us. You may take the floor. Thank you, dear attendees, dear representatives of the media. Today's event is another indicator of the government's commitment to the development of agriculture as a sector that is one of the supporting pillars for the development of the overall economy. Today, the agreement for implementation of the 4 irrigation systems along the Varda River Valley is being signed. This is part of the program that enables the irrigation of a new over 13,000 hectares of agricultural land, which is of exceptional importance for development of and competitive agriculture, for increased production of domestic agricultural products and food. The implementation is conducted by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Management, and the activity includes the construction, rehabilitation and expansion of 4 irrigation systems along the Varda River Valley, Strajište, Lisice, Konsko and Pepelište, as well as the construction of small hydropower plants of Lisice and Konsko. The implementation of this program is made possible by the support of the Credit Bank for Reconstruction from the Federal Republic of Germany through a loan of 80 million euros and a grant of 2.8 million euros to support farmers and agricultural cooperatives in the areas covered by hydro systems. This provides 70% of the necessary funds for the implementation of the irrigation program, while 30% will be provided through budget funds. The implementation of the irrigation program in our country will enable the creation of modern and efficient irrigation systems that will increase hydro potential and the volume of agricultural production and reduce economic losses. The implementation of this program is in line with our commitment to create modern agriculture on a European basis, thus solving the decades-long problems of our farmers. We have implemented numerous water management projects. We invest in all regions. We enabled the construction of new and reconstruction of existing irrigation systems, all in order to ensure stable and rich yields and to be even more competitive on the European and world markets. Here I would like to single out several key investments, such as the Konsko Dam, worth 40 million euros, the construction of which began 3.5 years ago and is already in its final phase. This is the largest capital project for water supply in the last 50 years. Then, the reconstruction of Debarsko Polje irrigation pumping station, the construction of Kolibari irrigation system worth close to 2 million euros, as well as the Slavičko Polje, Konopnica, Terca, Čaušica, Pišica irrigation systems, but also the 2 new systems that are planned in Sopot and Novaci. One of our top priorities is stimulating domestic food production, and all the measures we take are in part of that direction to motivate farmers through adequate support to produce more and to appreciate their work. For the first time, we have introduced advance payment of subsidies. 30% of the basic subsidies in the total value of 162 million euros have been paid to the accounts of 58,366 farmers. We support young farmers. We created the maternity leave measure for women farmers, which is being introduced for the first time. We helped small businesses, and with the new business plan measure, we enabled assistance for the purchase of production equipment and mechanization, as well as machines. And now we have offered state land for cultivation, which is made available to all those who have a vision for the future. With the right policies, we managed to open the country to more EU funds, and today North Macedonia is the leader in terms of utilization of funds from the IPAD program with a high utilization rate of 97%. Agriculture is one of the top priorities of this government, and for the past almost 7 years, we have put a strong focus on the development of this sector. Our goal is to have more domestic food, to create modern and competitive agricultural production on a European basis, with motivated and satisfied farmers, to raise this sector to the level of a profitable and basic branch on which will base economic growth. Finally, I congratulate Minister Nikolovsky and the entire team involved in the creation of development policies for agriculture. At the same time, I want to thank the continuous support from the Federal Republic of Germany and the KfW Bank, which we receive for the implementation of projects in the field of agriculture, education and energy. Thank you and good luck to everyone. Thank you, distinguished Prime Minister. Now I would like to invite the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Economy to take the floor. Thank you. Thank you, Goran. Distinguished President of the Macedonian Government, Mr. Dimitar Kovachevsky, Distinguished Ambassador of Federal Republic of Germany, Your Excellency, Petra Drexler, Distinguished Deputy Minister in our Ministry, Violeta Berisha, Distinguished State Secretary Regiel Ismaili, Distinguished Director of the Administration Isnia Kupi, Distinguished representatives of the Ministry of the Project Unit who have worked on these projects, Distinguished Dr. Carl Philip Hugan, Executive Director of the International Consultant, CES, and distinguished representatives and attendees. The irrigation of the agricultural land is one of the main pillars of our policies, and it is the basic precondition for high-quality increased agricultural production. There is no quality yield without irrigation, and that is why the irrigation is one of the key sectors within the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Economy. Both as a government and as a ministry, we have continuously worked on modernization of the national irrigation system, and the numerous projects are proof of this because they have been financed by the national budget, but also through the project of the IPA program of the European Union. By building new and reconstructing the existing irrigation systems, I am honored that today I have this opportunity to sign the new agreement for consulting services, through which we will start the realization of the 4 important capital project investments in the irrigation systems. Thus, we will provide irrigation for more than 30,000 hectares of agricultural land. Historically, this is the biggest program, the biggest capital investment in water supply, in the amount that will exceed 100 million euros. These 4 irrigation systems are part of the program for irrigation of North Macedonia and are along the river of Vardar. System Lisica, including the farmers from Veles and Chashka, providing irrigation for 3,500 hectares. Pepelišta system, including the municipalities Negotin and Demir Kapia, with more than 3,000 hectares. Strajišta system, continuation of the project that we have completed successfully, South Vardar Valley. And now we include the areas in the municipality of Volandovo for more than 1,500 hectares. And of course, this is the largest hydro system, Konsko, coming in the period, as it was noted by the Prime Minister, of already completed works for the largest capital investment that we've had throughout these decades as an investment of the ministry, that is the dam Konsko, and by its completion this month and including it in this agreement, this is the largest hydro system, Konsko, and will include 5,500 hectares of agricultural land and irrigation for this area from the municipalities Gevgelija, Bogdanci and Doiran, thus concluding the large project for construction of the dam, but in parallel designing and construction of the irrigation system Konsko, that will probably be the largest system in terms of size. The value of the agreement we are signing today is 9.1 million euros, and it includes preparation of main projects for the 4 projects, preparation of documents and starting a procedure for construction, as well as surveillance and implementation of the prepared projects. The implementation and the surveillance is, of course, of particular importance. For all this project, we have already prepared feasibility studies and the assessment of the environmental and social impact, and the sustainability is confirmed. For the realization of these 4 projects, we have adopted an action plan for implementation of this program for irrigation of North Macedonia. This plan envisages all activities for design, preparation of documents and construction of all 4 systems for irrigation within 60 months as of the day when the works of the consultants start, with a guarantee period of 12 months. The realization of this agreement and our idea that was born when we worked on the implementation of the project for the South Varder Valley several years ago was supported by the Federal Republic of Germany, and that is why in that period we started the procedure for securing the funds for adoption of the law and for implementation of all procedures that were required to realize the loan from the bank, KfW, from Germany, and funds from the national budget intended for funding the irrigation program of North Macedonia. And of course, this includes the grants received. The modernization and the investments in quality irrigation systems is one of the 5 top priority and pillars of the work of the ministry, especially in these 2 years. And I'm particularly honored that during this period, during this mandate of 2 years, together with the President of the government, Kovachevsky, besides realizing all other measures and policies for subsidizing overall reform in the agriculture, we became leaders in the use of the IPAD programs. We started many capital investments and we completed the largest number of programs in these 2 years. And now we are completing this period exactly with the execution of this agreement, finally. And I strongly believe that the international consultant and the local consultants, as well as the government and the ministry, but also the project unit that worked on this project, will successfully implement the project within the deadlines, and we will have these 4 large irrigation systems and their designs, and we will provide the farmers with modern irrigation systems for these 13,065 hectares in the agricultural areas for production of food. I'm glad that we complete this mandate by signing such an important and large, historically very important agreement, because this agreement puts us in an investment that is worth more than 100 million euros. I would like to extend my appreciation to all participants in the implementation of the most transparent and accountable procedure. I would like to thank them for the efforts, for the work, for the resolution of all challenges. Today we have an exceptionally good consultant, and let us start with work. Good luck. Thank you, distinguished Minister. Now I would like to give the floor to Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Federal Republic of Germany to the Republic of North Macedonia, Madam Petra Drexler. You may take the floor.
Thank you very much, distinguished President of the government, distinguished Minister, distinguished representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture, dear representatives of SEC. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and to witness a signing ceremony that was long awaited. Both Prime Minister and Minister Nikolovsky have explained how important agriculture is as a priority area of policy here in the country, and also the importance of agriculture in the cooperation with Europe and with Germany in particular. And I can assure you that Germany will remain a committed partner of an agricultural dialogue, both with North Macedonia and with the region as a whole. And I would like to point out another aspect which is important for me today, and that is climate action. Climate action is an integral part of Germany's foreign policy and of the external policy of the EU. And the German federal government only about a month ago, for the first time, adopted a strategy on climate foreign policy. And one of the elements of such a strategy is to promote sustainable use of ecosystems. To achieve this, good water management is crucial. A lot of research has shown that there's a negative impact of water scarcity and of climate change on water resources. Only 3% of the total water on the earth is fresh water, and approximately 70% of that water is used for the agricultural sector, so predominantly for irrigation purposes. Therefore, becoming more efficient and productive is very important in terms of climate action. And besides the climate dimension, a more efficient use of water for irrigation also reduces the costs for farmers. It makes agricultural products more sustainable, and finally, yet importantly, it reduces the risk of, for food security. So there's a set of reasons why Germany puts such a strong focus on agricultural cooperation. It was also one of the core messages that were sent by the visit of German Agricultural Minister Cem Özdemir last year in October. And our cooperation has a strong foundation in a range of cooperation programs, including the irrigation program we are talking about today. So, as I said, I'm very glad to witness the signing ceremony for a consulting contract for the implementation of that project today. It was a long process, and I hope that today marks the beginning of a very productive phase, and that a couple of years from now we will be able to state that this program has contributed to better conditions for agricultural production in North Macedonia, with irrigation schemes reconstructed, new ones built, so ensuring better access to water for irrigation. It's a starting point. The way towards success requires a lot of efforts, strong capacities of institutions, training, a good dialogue with farmers and with their associations on good agricultural practices. And once again, I assure you that Germany will be on the side of at the side of North Macedonia during this process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Сега би сакал да го поканам.
Now I would like to invite the Executive Director of the International Consulting Engineers Salzgitter, Dr. Carl Philipp Hugin. You may take the floor.
Mr. Prime Minister, Minister Nikolowski, Madam Excellence Drexler, thank you very much for having the opportunity to be here, to speak here. I am, as the representative of the implementation consultant CES, feel really honored that we can get this opportunity to take part in this challenging but very important project. Thank you very much. We believe that today's signature, as already said, will mark the starting point for a significant improvement of the Northern Macedonian irrigation sector in particular, and the entire agriculture productive chain in general. We think that this project will have a significant positive effect on the agricultural production. And in addition, that will lead to definitely positive benefits for the farmers in general, the rural area in a wider sense, but in the long run, for sure, for the entire role of Northern Macedonia in the European agricultural market. To be honest, in our experience, signing the contract, so in the perspective of the engineers, the easiest thing. So we had fruitful discussions together with the ministry, and from our side, again, thank you very much for that. And we used the time to already develop a close way of cooperation defined by open and transparent communication, which we think is the basis for implementing such a challenging project. Maybe today is not the right day to speak about challenges, but we are fully aware that challenges will arise. What are challenges in our context? Challenges are obviously technically wise, environmentally wise, maybe socially wise, and as already pointed out today, the topic of climate change needs to be addressed in this project, and we are ready to do this. Therefore, I am really happy to have a strong national partners on our side. Us as CES, we have a vast track record in implementing similar projects, and therefore we feel ready to get it on, to discuss the challenge, to overcome this challenge together with the ministry, with the PAU, and in a close discussion with the stakeholders and obviously the local beneficiaries of the entire project. Because without them, because with carefully listening to the specific demands of the people who later on has to successfully operate this investment, only by doing this we can ensure the entire success. In general, as I said, we are ready. Yes, we are happy that we are finalized the negotiation part as the engineers, that we can change, let's say, negotiation mode into operational mode, that we can get, let's say, our technical stuff out into the field as soon as possible to start with our services. And together with the team of the ministry, yes, to try to do our very best to overcome every obstacles, to deliver our services to the highest quality, obviously, and in the shortest period of time in order to achieve the goals which are already defined, but again, together with the ministry, to make a clear baseline in order to establish a base for evaluating the success of the project in total. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my gratitude towards the German government and the BMZ, especially in this time, in this case, the KfW for financing or for contributing their part to the financing, in addition to the government of Northern Macedonia for their contribution to this challenging project. So from side of the consultant from CES, we are ready to get it on. We are super happy to be here and keen to deliver as soon as possible the first results, which can be discussed jointly with the ministry. So thank you very much for today's meeting, and we are looking forward for the next years of joint cooperation.
Thank you, Mr. Hugin.
Now I would like to invite the signees of the agreement to take their positions and to proceed with the signing of the agreement. you.